Please write down the following example. If I asked you to multiply the monomial 3x squared times the polynomial 5x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x plus 11. So we're going to take a monomial and multiply it with a polynomial. My question for you then is raise your hand if you have an idea. What do you think I can do here? This should look very familiar. It should look very similar to something we've already done before. Mateus? It looks an awful lot like distributive property because it is distributive property. So all we are going to do to start this problem off is show that we are distributing the 3x squared into each term of our polynomial. All of it will get distributed together. Now, follow-up question to that. If I'm going to distribute this, someone raise your hand and tell me, when I distribute, am I adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Brennan? Multiplying. All of these are multiplying. We have now gotten ourselves to a point where this problem has turned into the skills that we were working with last week and in the chapter before. Bless you. So, let's expand this a little bit. I know I'm going to multiply because I am distributing. Now, when I multiply these things, the first question that we're looking for is, what do I do with the coefficients? We just talked about this within the last 2 weeks. Someone raise your hand and tell me, this first one I'm going to do is 3x squared times 5x cubed. Someone tell me, what am I doing with the coefficients, the 3 and the 5? Peter? I just multiply them together. So let's start with this and follow along in your own notes, please. 3 times 5 will give me 15. Well, next piece we need is, what am I going to do with the variables? Someone raise your hand and tell me, when I multiply, what do I do with my exponents? Rosie? I add them. So I have 2 and 3 makes x to the 5th. If you have a question or comment, please raise your hand, otherwise keep it quiet. We do this for each piece. So look at the next two things that go together. 3x squared times 3x squared. So coefficients, 3 times 3 gives me 9. Add the exponents, like Rosie said. 2 and 2 makes x to the 4th. Next term, 3 times, and we're going to treat this minus sign like it's a negative. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And then we add the exponents, 2 and 1. Remember, there's a 1 if there's nothing there, to make x to the 3rd. Last piece, we're almost there. 3x squared times 11. Multiply the coefficients. 3 times 11 to get a positive 33. I have x squared out here that I'm bringing in. There are no x's here on the 11 to change it, so it's still x squared. That is my entire answer. Are there any questions to go along with this before we move on to anything else? Athena? What do you mean? Are you looking at this first part in here? Great question. A lot of people were not paying attention. I need you listening. Just because another student is asking a question does not mean you get to tune out. She asked, what if there were like terms? Would you need to put the like terms together in the final answer? Yes. Yes, you would. Anytime you have like terms, you should combine them. If there were like terms in the final answer, I would put them together. Are there any other questions for a problem like this? Kyla? We will talk about that in a moment. Any other questions from this example?